Hi, everyone. I'm Rhonda Ellis.
And I'm Melissa Sutton. And this is Cultivating a Home,
the podcast. This is a place where we will talk about what really matters, growing in our walk with Christ, building strong marriages, raising our children with intention, and creating peaceful, life-giving homes centered on Him.
We'll share practical encouragement, real-life stories, and biblical truth to help you cultivate a heart and home that reflects Jesus. New episodes are every Thursday, so let's step into today's conversation together. Everybody, welcome to episode 20.
20!
I feel like we need a drum roll or like a...
And the crowds went wild.
We're making our own excitement. We thought that today it would be fun if we did a Q&A episode for our 20th because we have gotten some questions from people and we've got answers. Right, Rhonda?
We do.
So thank you, everybody, for sending in your questions. And if you do have a question and you haven't already sent it in, please email us at cultivatingahome@gmail.com. And we will get to those eventually. Some of these are going to be fun and some of these are going to be serious. And we'll just see what happens.
Let's go.
Okay, Rhonda, did your kids always get along? And do they always get along?
Let's start with being funny.
Truly.
They definitely did not always get along. 100%. There were different dynamics between each child. And you know this, if you take one child out of the mix, like they go to a friend's house or they go out of town, the dynamics are different. Every child brings their own sense of fun or their personality, but they also bring their sin nature to the group. So yes, there's always different dynamics and mixes going on where problem solving had to take place.
Yeah.
But you know, some of the biggest arguments that I can recall, and I think if you ask my kids, this might be one of the first examples that they think of, Legos. Lego, my Lego.
Ooh.
My kids were serious about Legos. We would set up 2 6-foot tables, sometimes 3, in the shape of a U. And they had chairs at them, and they had Legos set up on all of them. And they created villages and towns.
Oh, yeah.
The tiniest of pieces were the most important. The little bitty circle, little flat, looked like a little bitty coin. And I had to be careful not to vacuum that up because they could hear that a mile away. Mom, did you vacuum up our Legos? It doesn't matter that 532 times before then, I bent down to pick up the tiniest of Lego pieces. It was that one time that they remember. But yeah, they would fight over that, over silly things.
And what about now? Do they always get along?
Well, they are 20s and 30s now.
Yeah.
And they definitely do not fight like they did when they were younger. But there's still a lot of differences between them. I would say they've learned grace.
Yeah.
They have learned to encourage each other in their strengths and also, celebrate the differences, celebrate each other's successes, which I'm really thankful about that because I know that's something that was an aim of ours, that they would rejoice with each other when they're rejoicing and mourn with each other when they're mourning.
Yeah,
but there have been times they've had to go to each other and apologize for something that they've said or a reaction that they had or something they unintentionally made the other person feel. So they are,
human.
Yes. But for the most part, they do really well, but they are vastly different.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Which makes it really fun.
Yes.
There's a lot of different things that when they're all home, it's just
Well, and it's
fun.
the way you look at it. Like you can either look at it as it's everybody's so different. That's so fun. Or everybody's so different. This is so hard.
And there might be a little bit of both
for sure.
at times.
For sure. Okay, next question.
Love every one of them, though. Oh, I love them all.
Yeah, for sure. How did you handle sports and a healthy boundaries when it came to sports?
Ooh, That is a hard one, and I encourage all parents considering this to go to the Lord because your answer will be uniquely for your family. So we're going to start there. I remember speaking to a small Christian school. They asked me to come and talk with the parents. And at the end of my talk that I thought was so filled with great nuggets of wisdom in parenting, one of them raised their hands, was taking Q&A, and they said, "How do you have any time for sports?" with the schedule that I was sharing with them. And so for me to remember that was, who knows, 15, 20 years ago. For me to recall that means that question startled me and kind of, in a way, put me in my place, but maybe that's not the right way to word it, but it at least made me think about what I was communicating to the moms.
Yeah.
Because I was saying all these great ideas and it left do a devotion at breakfast and at lunch, and here's how you can do one at dinner. I was probably communicating that sort of thing, always being present with the kids, and all those are great things. But the fact is, there are times when we have the kids in ballet or gymnastics and tennis or basketball, whatever, and it requires time. And what I had communicated with them left out any time for them to do extra things outside of the home with their kids. And that's not the message that I want to communicate. But I do think the message is your family always a priority?
Yeah.
Meaning, is time as a entire family a priority to you? And how are you making that work? If your child is in sports or you have multiple kids in sports, then what could you do with the time frame that you're with them to make the most of it? Such as your car ride is good quality time talking. It's not them just connected to a video game. It's you're being intentional about that. Also, one of the things that happens when we're on the road all the time with sports is usually it's unhealthy eating because we're going through drive-through, and I could still fall prey to that today. But what are you doing so that you're tackling eating better and having time eating together? So I would look for things like that to make the best of it. And I would very much consider your whole family schedule and what is going on with the heart of your kids and the tone of your home. If you're in a season where you're like, we are out of control, everybody's tired, they're mad at each other, tempers are not where we want them to be, then it's time to regroup. And it might be this season, we're pulling back from all activities and we're just going to hang out at home. You take that leadership role and do what is best for your family and make those hard decisions, which might mean not doing sports. Or maybe you have them in a ton of sports. It might mean one activity. And then you might not be able to do the type of sport or activity that requires 5 days a week. Because let's look longer term. When your children are my age, they've been out of school for a while, you know what matters? The relationships with each other. If everybody was always so busy going, we would not have what we have today.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of wonderful benefits of sports. So I don't want to say, take it out completely, but I want you to evaluate every season what is best for the family dynamics, the relationships within the home, the temperament of each child.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice. Okay, next question. What advice would you tell your 25-year-old self?
Ooh, so I've got to look back 5 years ago.
I mean, that's a long time. Just take a minute.
Okay, let's see. You know what's funny is I met you.
Yeah.
When I was just a little bit older than that.
Yeah.
25, I was having my first child. And I met you when I was pregnant with my second
and
child.
I was 14. And so you were probably 27. Yeah. So right around there.
And then my kids, you helped read them stories at lunchtime. And you helped me run a home business. You were a wee little thing.
Yeah.
A teenager.
Little Melissa.
So at that season, I have a lot of heartache from that season.
Okay.
I loved being a mom and I was productivity oriented.
Yeah.
I remember that. I had a to-do list and we made sure the kids were well-rounded. That was a goal. And I had a teaching background. So education was super important to me at the age of 2 and 0. But
Listen, teach those kids to read. 2 years old.
But we, like I did stuff like critical thinking and outdoor activities and sport things with them and character development. And I was, and I was put it on my to-do list and make sure we laughed.
Yeah.
So I did all that. But there was a heartache many times throughout that younger age of just questioning, am I measuring up? Am I doing enough? Comparing myself to other people. Even though I had friends all around me, I questioned how deep my friendships were with people. It was just a time of figuring a lot of things out. And a lot of things in my head weren't true, but I was still trying to figure it out. So what would I tell my younger self is be yourself, lighten up, learn to look at life through a different lens than is maybe our go-to lens. Okay, here's an example. Okay, so I lived in a community with some of my friends from church, lived in that, a lot of friends. It was kind of a popular area for us young moms. And there was a community pool. And this is how I got myself twisted in my thinking. It's so silly. It's just so silly. So if any of my friends are listening, they're like, are you serious? You were
25. So,
you were that crazy. And I'm glad they didn't know it at the time. But anyway, this is reality. So there was a community pool and everybody would go there and hang. And one day, some of the moms ordered pizza and I sat over kind of at the kiddie pool with the little ones. And I didn't just join them. I didn't just assume I was part of the group, even though I was. It's like I was so insecure that I needed them to personally invite me. To just, hey, you want a piece of pizza?
Yeah.
And I just put that kind of stuff on myself, just like probably overthinking and too hard on myself, but it was at that time too, when I look back, that God began to chisel me in a way of letting go of expectations I had on myself and lightening up and things like that. So I would say to my younger self, like, lighten up.
Yeah, it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. But you knew me at that time, so go easy on me. What would you say?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I first met you when I was 14, and I probably started helping you in your home when I was probably 17, 18. So you were probably almost 30, probably by that point. But yeah, I felt like, I was 18 watching a 30-year-old I thought you had it all together. And everybody that was your age that we knew, I think we all thought they had it all together and that I would have never thought that you were feeling insecure, for sure. And you had a lot of plates. I mean, by that point, you had 2 kids, probably 3, actually. Probably your third one was born around that time when I was probably 19. And you were running a business, you were homeschooling the older 2, and you, had 3 kids probably by that point. So, you had a lot going on, but I thought you were handling it beautifully and you had no insecurities. So I think that, perception and comparison really, it's not what it is.
Yeah.
It's not what it seems.
It's such a healthier place to be real with people, to just, just talk about struggles and not in a negative Nelly way or a Debbie Downer way, but in a way that's just processing difficult things with each other and that you have, the people around you accept you for whatever you're walking through and that you can process together. It's such a healthier place to be in.
One way that you were real, though, was that you had help. You had me and you had other people, too, I remember, that were helping you. And so that was a way that even at, older 20s, young 30s, that was one way that you were being real, was saying, I got to get some help in here. And you brought in people to help you. Like you said, I was helping you in different ways in your home so that you could do more with maybe your business, depending on the day, depending on the week. So that was a way with you being real. Maybe you weren't verbalizing it, but by asking for help and for bringing people in and saying, can you help me? Right. That's a way to be real.
That was around the same time that I learned the phrase planned neglect. We might have mentioned it on the podcast in the past, but it was because of so much on my plate that I learned to delegate.
Yeah.
And delegate what were the least priorities to me. Priorities to me were spending time with God and spending time with the kids on their character development and their emotional well-being and, investing in their character and their lives. And so that meant I had to plan to neglect some of the things related to the home business.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't neglect them completely. I passed them off to you to make phone calls for me, to pack up orders.
Yeah.
And even you'd come into the dining room when it was lunchtime and you would feed one of the kids while I read a story to the group. I was doing what the priorities to me were, but I had somebody helping me, for survival.
Yeah, extra hands.
Yeah, extra hands. So you're right about that. Learning to ask for help is really important. But I remember a time when my third one was born, I think I had postpartum depression. I don't think. I know I did. I didn't realize what it was at the time.
Yeah.
But I remember my mother-in-law coming over, and a wonderful woman who just was so, I learned so many things from her. But she was sitting on the couch next to me at our house, and I was trying to drop every hint I could that I was drowning.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't have it together. And she's like, I don't know how you do all you do. And I didn't get any help. It was like I was beginning to see other people perceived me a certain way, and I didn't want to be perceived. Like, Lord, what can I do to break this appearance of having it all together and learn to be more real with people? And he did. He began to show me, and that really helped. Cultivating a home ministry is an important component of it, is being transparent, sharing the difficult times as well, because women need that from each other, don't we?
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't think I ever mentioned what snapped me out of the depression. My son was 9 months old. It was Christmas, and we were in the nursing room at First Baptist. The church was so big that there was a room for nursing moms, and it usually had at least 5, 6 ladies in it. And here I am with 3 little kids, and I'm just trying to hold it together.
For sure.
Just trying not to have the tone of sadness be all about me and being overwhelmed and all that. One of the ladies had 5 kids, and she said, "You have a lot on your plate." I still say that today to people who are going through a rough time. It doesn't matter what I have on my plate. If I have more kids, if I have more responsibilities, if I have a harder this, a harder that, I don't matter. When they're going through something, I say, that sounds like you have a lot going on. I don't know. That lady's words meant so much. It was like somebody validating.
They saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another lady, I think she had 8 or 9 kids. She went on to have 10 kids.
Holy
so at
moly.
that point, I don't remember how many she had, but she had so much grace. And she didn't say anything about the number of kids she said, but she said, yeah, when I was at the store, one of my kids knocked some things off the shelf at the grocery store. Now, is that so simple?
Yeah.
But because she was real with me and that happened. I don't know. Those 2 things.
Yeah. Relief.
They just really helped me. And I use both of those today
when
I'm talking with other people, to let them know it's okay. Things happen. And that was really a significant part of God teaching me.
That's awesome. Okay. Next question. Someone gave this question. I feel distant in my relationship with Christ. What kind of advice could you give?
First of all, I want them to know that probably most of us have felt that at some point, and that's okay. And God knows it. And He wants us to just sit still. And we could even say, Lord, I've got nothing. I got nothing. I feel distant from you. Would you just rain down your love on me? Would you show me that your presence? Would you comfort me? Would you show me that you're real, that you care about my life? And you just cry out to Him and talk to Him like you would a friend, a best friend. So I would say do that. And then I would say look for an easy devotion. And one of my favorite ones it's easy, but it's also so significant because the author asks great questions of Scripture, but it's light. And so you could do it in 15 minutes a day if you wanted, or you could spend longer. But that's the Elizabeth George series of A Woman After God's Own Heart. It's got a series from different books of the Bible. And I would say just start there and just give God some time. Just give him your time and say, Lord, teach me, and then pray. And you can pray. It doesn't have to be like on your knees, and it can be as you go. Like, Lord, I want to spend time with you. Would you show me a good time to do that? Show me a pattern, a rhythm to have. But as you're developing that routine and that system, just talk to him throughout the day. Just tell him everything. Act like he's right there next to you. And you can either talk aloud to him or just know he actually is right there with you. And your mind can commune with him and say, Lord, would you put your words and your thoughts in my heart and in my mind? And I would also reach out to a friend, and you could share what you're going through with that friend. And maybe you could call each other with encouragement. And then also, are you involved in a Bible study group with your church? It could be a small group, but are you going to church? Are you actively present at a church where you're getting involved? That will really, really help as well. I think one thing we do that's dangerous, but it's a normal thing for us to do, is we isolate ourselves, and that's not good. God even says in his word the importance of coming together as Christians.
Yeah. Even when you don't feel like it, keep doing it, keep going. And what is that phrase? When you don't know what to do what you do know what to do. And, you know,
that's a good one.
Because you're not going to always feel like it.
No.
And, you know, this person said, what do I do when I feel distant? That's valid. And everybody's been there, but do what you know.
Do what you know and tell the Lord that.
Yeah.
And say, Lord, I want to draw close to you.
Yep.
Just tell him.
Good advice. Okay. Here's the next question. How do you know when it's a good time to give your teenager more freedom? And here's the examples that they gave. Stay up later, maybe like not go to bed at the same time that they always have had to go to bed. So stay up later, or go out on their own. And so this is kind of like a two-part question. With that, with giving more freedom, how do you also set up boundaries? It's loaded. That's a loaded question.
This is going to depend on the maturity and the age and the level of responsibility that each child has shown. So it might look different. One child, you might trust them to go out with their friends when they're 14 and you just don't have any concern at all. And another might be 17 and you're still you don't feel good about the relationships that they're attracted to.
Yeah.
And so the maturity and the responsibility, the decision-making that you've seen doesn't warrant giving over that freedom. That's important. Each child's going to be different. But I would say if your child is still going to bed at 7 and they're 12.
Yeah.
Just kidding. When mine were little.
Or maybe not.
And maybe it actually is a good idea. Yeah. But when mine were little, they did all go to bed at 7.
Yeah.
And, you know, then obviously they start going to bed a little later. And what happens, you know this from the younger ones,
Yeah.
their freedom comes a lot sooner.
Oh, my word.
Because they got the bigger siblings. And it shouldn't always be the case.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they get way more freedoms than they're ready for. Just because we're aged, we're tired.
Right.
And they're watching their siblings do things that it wasn't even an issue back when you just had your older ones. They didn't even know those things existed. You know, like staying up later. What?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so a follow-up that they had was, what did you do when a child or teen says, everyone else is doing it, or everyone else is going? And that could even go into what this person said was, did you allow your kids to spend the night at friends' houses?
Oh, goodness gracious.
Loaded.
That's so hard. I'm seeing so many people today say no to all slumber parties, and I tend to agree with it. But I kind of agreed with that for the most part when mine were growing up. But I did on occasion say yes to things, but there are some times I wish I wouldn't have said yes.
Yeah.
I would want to encourage the parents, be strong, make the hard decisions now, and then you're not going to look back and think, wow, I should have stood my ground, but I was too worried about my child's reaction. I think that's what it comes down to a lot of times is we fear our kids' reaction or pushback more than we realize the strength we need to have as a leader in the home.
Right. And maybe trusting your discernment.
Yes.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we gave some of our kids, they're all different stages of when the phones, the whole phone thing came out. Some didn't even have a phone till after they graduated.
Yeah. Because
it wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing.
And then when the younger ones came around, it was right. If they were going to get a phone, your option was an iPhone. Way too much for that age. They had not proven any level of responsibility. We hadn't gone over things. We hadn't set up parameters. We hadn't done any of that. Well, that was a while ago. Today, I hope parents know way better than that to wait. My friend Melanie Hempy has a ministry called Screen Strong, and she encourages parents to hold out.
Yeah.
It's a really good ministry. You should follow her on social media. But her children are strong leaders and they have great social skills, people skills, where a lot of their peers don't even know how to communicate with people because they've been sucked into social media.
Yeah.
And I mean, the phone is like handing your kids a computer.
Yeah.
And back when mine were growing up, I had some parameters that were like no TVs in the room, no computers in the room. And they didn't think anything of it. And then we hand them a phone that has everything on it. And my friend said something like, she was featured on Family Life Today. And I remember a clip from it was something like, if I could develop something today that would make every teenage girl have a body image and, feel insecure about herself, you know what I'd develop? Social media. This is where we're living.
Yeah.
Aren't you so glad we didn't have social media growing up?
Oh, my word.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Keep it from your kids.
I would have, yeah.
Keep it from your kids till they are older. Tell them about what you did with your kids with that because they weren't even interested.
Yeah, Rhonda and I have talked about this before. I mean, I feel like, so 2 of my kids are a little older. They're young 20s. And then we have one that doesn't have a phone and she's younger. But I feel like when they got social media, it ended up being like they didn't even care after they got it. Like, I feel like...
But one of them really, really, really wanted it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, she really, really wanted it. And it was also during COVID. And we were like down bad. And like, to be social, you needed to be on social media. But so she got like a social media app. And then and it was like so important. And so we said yes. And then after a while, it was like, I don't really even want this. I mean, I think, so remember that, like your kid might be saying, and they also might be saying everybody else has it and they're right. They're right. I mean, everybody else does have it. But sometimes what they feel like is going to be so fun after they get it, it's like, I don't really care even anymore. And it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not even a big deal. They don't even care after a while.
And I would say also study your child and think about, I would say most kids, particularly girls, are simply not ready to enter a world where so much is about image and so much is fake because we're putting our best self out there and it could lead to heartache and hurt and they're just not ready. So be that strong parent that takes a stand and just doesn't do it. And then there's so many temptations for guys on phones as well. Like stand firm. You and your husband talk about it and make that decision. And it's hard because your kids might press and press and press, but stick to it. You'll be glad you did. I can look back at some of the decisions we made and I feared a reaction more than standing firm to what I believed.
Yeah.
And I do have regrets about that.
Okay. Thank you for being honest on that. Okay. We have 2 more questions. We actually have a lot of questions, but we're going to save some for another time. So I'm going to do 2 more questions and then we're going to do some rapid fire fun ones. Okay. Ooh. So this is a question someone had. What can you do to prepare your heart for empty nest?
Ooh. Okay. So having things that you enjoy doing, thinking about them ahead of time, because it's going to hit you. And if you haven't thought about it before the time happens, you will be flailing. And I think even if you do have some ideas, it will still hit in a funny way. And so think, okay, what do I really want to do during this time? I would say, 1, don't think of retiring from everything. You may be working, or you may just begin working again.
Yeah.
And enjoy an income, enjoy investing in some kind of skill or hobby that you have. But don't retire from life. Don't say, I did my part and I'm done. Who can you continue to pour into? It could, you know what I found? I'm still pouring into my adult kids.
Yeah.
It looks different, but it's more listening and coaching if they ask. It's not teaching. It's just being present and guiding as, upon their asking. But you and your husband enjoying some things together. Like we started traveling a lot more and deciding what you would like to do in your church, how to give, how to serve, how to be a part of that, mission trips, but just kind of think through, well, what would I really like to do?
Yeah.
And what would you like your involvement to be in your kids?
Yeah.
In their lives, in their spouse's life, in the grandkids' life. And a lot of people, when they become empty nesters, are not yet grandparents. And so you have a clean slate to think, what type of grandparent would I like to be? Would I like to be one that takes them on outings to the beach and to the zoo and is fun? Or am I going to be the one? And it could be a mixture of all these things. But my point is to think about it so that you have an aim and you look forward to this kind of investment. But it might be, one of the things I wanted to do, I thought, I am going to teach my grandkids how to sew. Guess what? No, I'm not.
Pivot.
Because I don't sew.
Hilarious.
Now we have sewing machines here, but I might not be that grandparent. But, what kind of involvement, what kind of impression? I know one thing. I want to be a kind of grandparent that has unconditional love for whatever the grandkids walk through and whatever my own kids, meaning their parents, walk through. I want to be grace, extend grace to them and just be present in their lives. And I think that's a wonderful thing about looking forward to being an empty nester is what do we want to do for the next season of life?
That's good. And to ask yourself that question maybe before it hits. That was really good what you said at the beginning, like what are hobbies or what are things that you still want to do? And think about that beforehand. Yeah, that's good.
And be willing to pivot if it ends up looking different. But I didn't realize that I would be enjoying art.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
pickleball.
Pickleball. I was not doing pickleball, and then I took it up, and I love it. So empty
Those
nester.
Are really good.
Think
That's
about
good
your
advice.
hobbies, but think about what kind of relationship you want ongoing with each of your children individually based on their wiring and what means a lot to them. For example, one may actually love a day at the spa with you. Another may really want you to come organize their pantry. And another may say, please, will you watch my kids while my husband and I go out on a date? It could be a mixture of all that, but each child has something different that means love to them.
That's good. Thank you for that. Okay. Last question before we do rapid fire. What is God teaching you right now?
He is continuing to teach me to let go. And it's been many stages throughout the years of what letting go looks like. But at this season, it's trusting my kids with their decision making and being present for them to share and talk and then offer advice when asked. But letting go means really trusting the Lord. Trusting the Lord in situations in life where the outcome may not be what I want, but trusting that God is in control and He is at work and letting go. So that's an ongoing thing with me. And then He's always reminding me of the importance of grace.
I love that. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, rapid fire. These are some fun questions. No wrong answer.
Okay.
Night owl or early bird?
A little of both.
You really are. You're both.
I try not to be both at the same time. Like if
That's
I'm a night
helpful.
owl and then I wake up, I've had 2 hours of sleep. I try to not make them be the same time, but sometimes they are. But I have to make myself go to bed a lot of times. And then it depends on the time of the sunrise, because like this morning, I could have woken up at 8, but 6:15, I was up. And so I thought, I'll just go ahead and get up.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a little harder to wake up.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah. Sometimes I tell Rhonda, you're making me nervous. Are you sleeping enough? Because she is both. She likes to stay up late and get up early. Okay. Favorite movie, like of all time?
Well, I really love The Sound of Music.
That's a good one.
That's an old one. So
that's good.
I've just been repeating that one for 40 years.
So
when people ask me. But I like action adventure movies. I love it.
Okay. That's awesome.
Like Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 8, something like that.
Okay.
Did you know?
I did not know that. And I've known you for a really, really long time. Okay. Favorite food?
I like salmon, hamburgers, pizza, a good salad.
Yeah. Good.
I love avocados.
Same. Same. Coffee order. So if you go out to a coffee shop, what are you getting?
I didn't drink coffee till I was in my 40s, and I was with a group of friends that we go on an annual trip with, and Starbucks was becoming a thing.
Yeah. And
we would stop and get Starbucks, and I said, I'll sit here in the car or whatever, because they were just going in to pick up their orders. And they go, "What, you don't want anything?" And I said, "I don't really drink coffee." And my friend goes, "Come inside here. I'm going to show you what to get."
Yeah.
A caramel macchiato with whipped cream on top. I've never been the same. And now I drink coffee. And I never had up until that point. But the coffee has to have so much cream in it that it's not healthy and it doesn't taste like coffee.
It's okay.
So
it's okay.
I need to break this.
Never, no judgment here.
But it is fun. I look forward to waking up and having a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Same. Okay. Last question. Favorite Bible verse?
My favorite verse right now is Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And the reason that's my favorite verse right now is because when Heather was going through her journey with cancer, she and I would just quote that verse and live in it. Couldn't do anything to heal her. That verse means so much because we were learning to lean into God, and He promises, just be still right now. You can't do a thing, but I've got you. I will fight for you. You just need to be still.
Yeah.
So Exodus 14:14.
That's a great truth. This was so fun. Thanks, everybody, for sending in your questions, and keep sending them in. We did not get to all of them today, so we will do that on another episode, but we appreciate it. We appreciate you all.
Send in your questions to cultivatingahome@gmail.com and be sure to leave a review. We love hearing from you all. Have
Thanks,
a great day.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for spending this time with us today. We hope you're walking away encouraged and equipped with something simple you can put into practice right where you are. Remember, it's the small, faithful choices that shape the atmosphere of your home. So wherever you are today, keep cultivating hearts and homes for Christ.